Here we go. Another episode of Steve Lags Unfiltered. I've got a tremendous guest here today. I brought a dear friend of mine, somebody I met a few years ago. He's truly one of the most inspirational, exceptional people I've ever met in my life. He's super successful in all aspects of his life, and I definitely look up to him and the type of life he's leading right now.
And now, introducing your host, Steve Lags.
President of RH Shipping. I've got my good friend here, Rudolf Hess. Rudolf, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, good to meet you. Thank you. I'm doing good. Thanks for inviting me to your podcast, man.
Yeah, hey, you're a special person, so it was good for you to come on. I wanted to introduce you to the guests because you've had a lot of success as an entrepreneur, but you also live in a life that you've designed, and I think it's really admirable because you've created the life that you want, and you've been able to mix the work and the things that you like to do together. And I watch you and I follow you, and sometimes I can never tell if you're working or if you're having fun. And I think that's the goal as an entrepreneur, to really create that life that you want.
Yes, sir.
So you're RH Shipping, super successful logistics company. I think you guys are you touch more than 60 countries in the globe. Is that right?
Well, I want to go back to what you said. I'm always working.
Yes.
And I'm always having fun at the same time.
I see that.
Okay.
That's why I admire you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So 60 countries now?
No, we do all over the world.
Yeah.
We have offices. We have 12 offices in China.
Huh.
We have Vietnam. We have Thailand, Korea, India, Colombia, Peru, Chile. And then we have 15 offices in Mexico and one in the US and more to come. And then with these companies, we do business worldwide. No matter what country, we can do it.
Right. Those are just the offices. So I'm in the process of expanding into my first country other than the US. And here you are, you've got all these offices. How the hell do you get that set up? I mean, it's hard enough to open up additional offices in the US, in our own country. How do you manage that? How does that work?
I invested in an existing company in China 20 years ago.
Right.
And we were small. We started with 3 offices in Shanghai, Ningbo, and Hong Kong.
Right.
And we've grown by acquisitions in Asia, like mergers with other existing companies like in Vietnam and in India and everything. And that's the way we grew internationally. And I'm not the main shareholder,
right,
but I'm the only Westerner among 6 Chinese people. So it's a Chinese company with one Western shareholder.
And you're that guy.
And I'm that guy, yes.
So it's about partnering then. So that's how you were able to do it, through partnerships.
Yes, sir. My companies in Mexico and the US, I grew myself. Right. I have no partners. Mm-hmm. And we've grown by working hard, and having good connections and collaborations with companies like the Chinese. We have other partnerships in Europe and in South America and everything, but in Asia, that's the only company that we're invested in.
That's great.
Yes.
How do you get into shipping? If we all get into something, how does that start?
So, my dad was in shipping.
Oh, there we go.
And then we had a weekend house at the east coast of Mexico where we flew to every weekend. And then my dad built a container terminal there where we load and discharge ships, containers, and general cargo projects and bulk cargoes and everything. And I used to go with my dad to his terminal to supervise the unloading of the ships.
How old were you? At what age was this?
I was 17 years old.
Okay.
And we stayed there until 3 o'clock in the morning. And then I had a lot of fun. But even though I was doing that, I didn't know what I wanted to study.
Right.
Because in Mexico or in the US, there's no shipping business per se to be studied.
Right.
And then as a teenager, I didn't really know. So I wanted to go and study industrial engineering because that's why all my friends were going to study. Mm-hmm. But I wasn't sure, But then my dad said, hey, you like shipping, and why don't you give it a try? Go to Germany, study shipping business in Germany. If you like it, then you stay in shipping. If you don't, you can pivot and do something else. And if you like it, you're welcome to join my company.
Right.
And that is what I did.
Wait, where'd you grow up?
I was born in Mexico.
Right.
I grew up in Mexico. I went to German school. Was raised bilingual, English and German.
Great.
And because of that, I was able to go study in Germany.
Oh, you can speak German too?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
Perfect.
that.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So that experience was positive for you. Went to Germany.
Yeah, I went to Germany for 3.5 years.
Right.
I studied shipping, business administration, and then I worked at the same time with different companies. I was 2.5 years with a shipping agency. Then I was 6 months with a shipping line that had a liner service between Mexico and Northern Europe. They were going to our terminal.
Right.
And then I went to Cyprus. I lived in Cyprus as well, in Limassol, Cyprus, in front of Israel there.
Yeah.
In the Med. And I was there working for the biggest ship management company in the world that is owned by one of my best friends.
That's amazing. So, and then after that, you went and worked with your dad.
After that, I came back to Mexico and started working for my dad.
Yeah. See, you did something smart that I didn't do. So I have a similar experience where I started working with my dad. My dad started TRC Electronics, but what you did was smart. You went and worked outside of his business for a few years, learned and brought knowledge back to that business. Where for me, I just went right out of college, right to working for my dad.
Yeah.
And if I had to do it all over again, I would have went outside of his business, worked in the industry, brought some knowledge back to the business that was not, that he was maybe lacking, and I had better context of what I was coming into. So did that experience allow you to contribute more when you started in the business with your dad? And
Cool.
was that RH Shipping at the time, or
No.
a different business?
That was a different business.
Yeah.
And it helped me a lot to have worked. The most important thing in our businesses, in everybody's business, I guess in your business too, is the working, learning by doing, working in a company to learn what you're doing. Because if you go to the university, most of what you learn there, you're not going to implement in the real life.
Yeah.
But it's part of your development.
It's a lot of theory, right?
Right?
Yeah.
But so I came back, worked for my dad, and my actual company is not my dad's company.
Right.
I exited my dad's company 3 years later, and opened RH Shipping 27 years ago.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yes.
So how was that? So for me, I stayed with my dad's business, and I ended up buying the business from my dad. I didn't exit and go start my own. You had more courage than I did back then.
Yeah.
How was that with your dad? Was that like a good experience with that transition? Was it agreeable, or did he disagree that you were leaving? Like
Negative. It was bad. Yeah, he didn't like it.
Yeah. Can you share a little bit about that? Because my experience was challenging. Working with a dad is not easy.
Yeah, working with my dad was not easy either, but I learned a lot. He was very tough, very strong, and his strong character with my strong character was sometimes we
Yeah.
And but it was good. And then there was something that happened, and I exited his company. And he didn't like it.
Right.
And a few years later, when the Asian crisis came, I was too focused on importing steels from China. And 100% of my business were Mexican steel manufacturers that were exporting steel to Central and South America and the Caribbean. And then suddenly the Asian crisis came. I don't remember exactly what year, back in 1995 or 6 or something. And my business went down to zero. Because the Koreans started selling steel at $200 a ton cheaper than my Mexican clients.
Right.
And we're exporting like 10 to 20,000 tons a month.
And you're all dependent on those clients. That's all your business at that time.
Exactly. I was dependent on 3 clients.
All right. So 2 things there. One, you probably learned some serious lessons, but also you had to overcome some serious fear of losing everything. Talk to me a little bit about that, because that's a big deal.
So I learned a lot about that, because I wanted to be a ship broker, only ship broker, not a freight forwarder. And my dream was to be a ship owner. So I was working from home by myself.
Right.
I didn't have a team. And I did good business. I didn't spend a lot of money. So I kept all that money in a bank account. And here's something very important probably for your audience, is I was behind. I was after this big, one of the biggest steel traders in Germany. He was buying a lot of steels from my clients. He was buying FOB.
Right.
So he had the decision with what ship broker to use. And I was insisting for him to work with me for years. And then one day I had this big shipment a big ship loading in Tampico. And I went to supervise the loading of that ship. When I came back 3 days later, I had a fax where this guy was offering me his first business. But that fax was 3 days old.
Oh, okay.
So I called him in Germany and I said, hey, sir, I just came back, just saw your email, your fax and everything. And he said, yes, Rudolf, I know you've been behind me, but I didn't know you were small.
Right.
I thought you were a big company. And I noticed that you're a one-man show.
Right.
And that is when I decided to hire my first employee.
Huh.
And
That's amazing.
yes, sir.
Yeah, a hard lesson, especially when technology wasn't what it was today. Because today you get an email, but still,
Exactly.
like it's it's why you want a team. You owned a job at that point, then, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So then you realized you needed to build a company
Yes.
because you were the company.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's amazing. But that whole experience, the fear of it, of like going down to zero. I mean, it sounded like you were making money and you felt probably secure financially, personally, but you still have a lot of pride in a business that you're building and you're competitive, you want to win.
Yes.
And you're keeping score.
Yeah.
How do you overcome that experience and be resilient to bounce back and like make the adjustments, not just beginning to build a team, but
It was not easy. The first 6 months, I had a little depression.
Yeah.
Like, I got up and my office was the next room. So I got up in the morning. I didn't even shower. I went in pajamas in front of my computer, worked until 1 p.m.
right.
I couldn't close any business. And then I was depressed, went down to my bed and watched TV until 8 p.m. or 10. And I slept again next day. And I went on like that for 6 months.
Yeah.
And then one time my dad invited me to have lunch and said, hey, Rudolf, I know that you're doing bad in business.
Right.
I said, yeah, I'm doing bad, but I made good money. So I have money in my bank account and I'm working to overcome. And then he said, yeah, but I invite you to work for me. And if you don't want to work in our company, you can go open an office in Houston and you can do it there. And I didn't accept that.
Okay.
I said, and maybe I'm saying something, I'm going to say something now that I have never said in public. He told me at the end of the dinner, he said, hey, Rudolf, but hey, if you don't work for me, don't expect me to give you my company after I die.
Right.
And I took that challenge. I didn't join him.
Right.
And the dinner was over. He didn't like my reply.
Right.
And that fueled me. That was a threat
Right.
towards me.
Yeah.
And I thank him for that because my dad passed away back in 2009.
Okay.
And we made peace before,
Great.
way before he passed away, right? But that was that fueled me to hustle even stronger to be successful.
Right.
So the first thing I did is hire somebody, then I hired somebody else, and then I hired somebody that came into my apartment to work there. So that I would be forced to take a shower at 7 o'clock in the morning.
That's awesome.
And be ready, because I was like deep down.
Right.
I was down. And then I hired somebody and then we rented a small office and we had the first 3 people. And then the more people we hired, the better we did.
Right.
And I learned from the very first beginning that you have to have a good team around you to be successful.
Right.
And not just take the cheapest guy, but you have to bring people that have the experience that will help you grow your business.
Right.
Yes.
So that experience with your dad, when he offered you like to kind of rescue you, that lit a fire in you. and you decided not to take that because you believed in yourself that you had a better option. You didn't need to, was that's what's going through your mind? Like, hey, I don't need to be rescued. Like, what's your thought process? Like, how did
the fire that was lit in me was him threatening me to, how do you call it in English? Disinherit you.
Right. Okay, sure. Yeah.
Like, hey, when I die, don't expect to be part of this.
Yeah. Like, as if, hey, I'm going to write you out of the will.
Exactly.
Like, that's not why I will have a relationship with you.
Exactly. You're my dad. And you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You know, you need to,
you don't even want it.
You don't need to threaten me.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's what happened. So, and it's okay. You know, I was never mad. It was my decision.
Yeah.
And it worked out good.
That's great.
That's what fired me.
Yeah.
To be threatened. And it was a threat and a fear.
Right.
Of not making it and then not making it later with them, you know?
Right. So now when now you're building the business and you go through different stages and phases of growing a business, you know, and it's not just a rocket ship to the top. You know, you've got like obstacles, setbacks, growth, So moving forward, how do you deal with that? And is it still challenging to deal with obstacles and setbacks, even after you build a successful business and that's 27 years old? Because just the fact that you have a 27-year-old business is a major success.
Yeah.
Most businesses don't last 10 years.
Yes.
So moving forward, what's that experience like as an entrepreneur where you're trying to grow and it's maybe never enough and you're trying to make it bigger?
So the bigger you get, the bigger the setbacks when the market goes down, like right now, right?
Yeah.
So we grew like organically year by year from 2003 to 2008, 35% year on year on EBITDA.
Right.
And then back in 2009, after the Asian crisis, we fell down 50%.
Yeah.
And I didn't fire anybody.
Okay.
Everybody else was firing people far and left and everything. And I didn't fire people because thanks to these people, I was able to grow 35% year on year.
Right.
And I would have been very not loyal.
Yes.
To have fired people.
Yeah. Meanwhile, business owners want their employees to be loyal.
Exactly.
So we should be loyal.
So I was loyal.
Right.
And that's why sometimes I expect them to be, but that doesn't happen in real life, you know?
Yeah.
So 2010, the market came back and we recovered all that volume. Mm-hmm. But then we've had like 10 years of volatility. And you have seen it most probably in your business where you see rates going up and then they go down again and they go up and then they stay down for 3 years. And so the shipping lines lost billions of dollars from 2009 to 2019. Mm-hmm. And when finally COVID happened, they recovered.
Yeah, you know? We were paying ridiculous rates. Yes. I always know my friend Rudolph's doing well when my freight bills are high.
Yes, exactly. No, we did great the last 3 years. You know, but those challenges, like the bigger you get, you have more employees, and the business goes down, and you say, "What do I do with all these employees?"
Right.
And what you have to do is like just hustle. Yeah, like this year, you know. Business has gone down in terms of revenue because of rates leveling back to pre-COVID levels.
Yeah,
where we were charging $15,000 to $18,000 a container last year into Mexico, and like $30,000 to $40,000 into the U.S. Now we're back to pre-COVID levels at $1,400,
right.
And from making 10% to 15%, now we're down. You know,
right,
in revenue, like by a lot.
Yeah.
But this year, we've hired 66 people.
Wow.
Because we're working on selling more. Even though the market went down, our volumes went 50% up.
Okay.
But our net profit is below last year.
Right.
But our revenue dropped a lot, but the revenue did not drop in comparison to the drop in revenue.
Right. Yeah, so you're still high because you know that you have a lot of wisdom now. You know it's cyclical. Yes. You know what's on the other side of it. And you know how business bounced back. So you've been through this already. And that's what having that experience is so valuable. I share it with you. I'm not 27 years, but 20 something years and 22. I'm a little younger than you, not much. But when you think about your people and being a business owner and being a leader of an organization, and you're talking about hiring more people, even though you might be making, you're not meeting some of the goals because it's just a down year, the market's down, but also the obligation to reward and take care of the people that you feel like have helped you support your growth. What's your thought process about leading people and your obligation as the owner of the company and creating opportunities for the people in your organization? How do you think about that? And how do you talk about that?
So I built a remarkable team around me in the last 4 years.
And tell me, a remarkable team, what makes them remarkable? Like, what are you so proud of? I'm sure there's different unique things about them but what are you most proud of them?
So in the past, I couldn't do what I do today that you see me doing on Instagram.
Gives you flexibility.
It gives me flexibility. I can go and have 2-day meetings in New York and stay 3 days holidays or a combination of both.
You don't have to sit there and inspect the boat being loaded.
Exactly.
or anything like that.
Yeah. And I don't need to be at the office to watch that they're doing their job.
Right.
So I have a team of like 4 or 6 people that they have teams. I delegated a lot of stuff that before I wanted to control all the time. Mm-hmm. And for the last 3 years, I've been like disconnecting a little bit more from the day-to-day business.
Right.
And I started working more on the business than in the business.
Yeah.
And right now, with my 10-year goals, my goal is to build a $1 billion company in the next 10 years.
Yeah.
By acquisitions.
Right.
And of course, organic growth as well.
Right.
So probably I'll do my first acquisition beginning of next year.
Oh, nice.
Yes, sir.
I'm looking forward to it. You need any investors?
Yeah, let me see.
So your ability to have the flexibility to go to these meetings, do things and move the business that are going to not add another $1 million in revenue, but how do you add another $100 million in revenue? Sounds like you have 4 to 6 key people that you can really depend on that can lead that organization and delegate to them and move the business through them.
Yes.
And that's where like their ability to do that and finding the right people that can do that, you're really proud of.
I'm really proud of, and I brought them in to our mentors.
Yeah.
For them to change the mindset as well, to believe in themselves.
Yeah.
And we hired the training, the sales training for the whole team, including the operations team.
Right.
And everybody has a different mindset now.
Yeah.
Isn't
that interesting how, because we talk about that here, where you're part of the training is not just simply job skill, but it's the mindset.
It is totally the mindset.
Right.
Because they say, why do you want me? I'm not sales. You are sales. Mm-hmm. When you come back home and you want to go to eat at sushi, but your husband wants to eat steak, you are going to sell yourself that you want to go to sushi, and you need to have a skill to convince him to go sushi. And next time we'll go eat a steak. And that's what the similarities are in real life sales.
Yeah. So like people don't have their mindset is like, there's a salesperson is a salesperson that has a sales job.
Exactly.
We're all selling one way or another all the time. So that mindset, shifting different things in their mindset. And for me, just the being accountable, being disciplined, being transparent, like these are things where you've got to have a right mindset in order to be that, especially for resilience. Because people think that they're just going to simply go through life without obstacles and challenges, or they're going to avoid the uncomfortable moments in their life and everything's going to be comfortable. It's just not like that. When you're looking to add more in your life or do more in your life, you're going to hit obstacles and challenges, and you're going to have major setbacks and be very, very uncomfortable. What is it, when you think about your business and some of the things you've accomplished, can you think of a really uncomfortable moment or experience where, boy, this was really out of my comfort zone. I had to overcome this. And boy, good thing I did. If I didn't, I wouldn't have had the life I have today.
Yes, it was all the traveling,
Yeah.
I used
Because it's easy just to sit home and not have to get on planes, right?
exactly.
I mean, you have your own jet right now,
Yes.
but this is before you had a jet.
Yes.
Right.
Way before I had a jet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I used to live in Mexico City, but then we decided to have kids and we moved to another city that was like 2 hours away from Mexico City.
Mm-hmm.
And I drove to my office every single day without fail. 2 hours to the office, left my home when my kids were asleep, came back home and they were all asleep again.
Right.
So I didn't see them for the entire week. I just came and kissed them goodnight, but they were asleep.
Right.
So I didn't see them the whole week. And then on the weekends, I had my family.
Yeah.
And when I was not going to Mexico, I was traveling to China. I was going to China like 4 to 5 times a year. And it was not, if it was not China, it was Europe or something. And I was never there for the family.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to do it. Otherwise, we wouldn't have grown.
Right.
And that's the risk of being an entrepreneur, that you cannot be there all the time if you want to be successful.
Right. Yeah. So I have three, as you know, I have 3 daughters right now, and I always making sure the time I'm with them is quality time,
Yes.
not quantity.
Yes.
And make sure the time I'm investing with them is really great time, because like you, I make a lot of sacrifices with traveling or investing time in the job, in the business, and investing in other people. And that takes away a little bit from them. So I'm always very intentional when I'm with them.
Yeah, yeah. But I see you're very disciplined and you do things very well.
Yeah. Well, if you give me a plan that I have confidence that'll work, I'll stick to it.
I know.
I got to believe in it.
Yes.
So, for me, that's, we both we both go out to different conferences, find different people to learn from, and then take everything you're learning and make your own version of it. When we walked in here, you talked about the books.
Yeah.
Right. So you do a lot of reading, right?
Yes.
So it's we don't make any of this up, but we learn from all the people that are mentors, authors that are knowledgeable. And then we take those ingredients and mix it up into our own unique recipe and bring it to the world.
Exactly.
But we don't make it up. It's all like proven processes of what works and what doesn't work.
Yes.
And you just bring it to business.
Yes. And you know what helped me?
What?
For 10 years, I was doing this traveling back and forth, right? Then I moved to Houston. And for 10 years, I was traveling back and forth, Houston and Mexico, every Monday, coming back Fridays.
2 hours wasn't enough for you?
Yeah. So I did that 20 years.
Wow.
And you know what? And then
wait, every weekend for 20 years. Is that what you're saying?
So during 10 years when I was living in Mexico, I was driving back and forth the office every day, leaving at 6 o'clock in the morning or 5, coming back at 9 or 10 p.m., not seeing my kids.
Right.
And then I moved to Houston and I did the same. I flew every Monday to Mexico, flew Fridays back, and I didn't see my kids during the week.
Right.
Right. And you know what saved me?
What?
COVID.
Huh. Oh, yeah.
COVID. I never had time for myself.
Right.
I never read books. I always had a good excuse not to read books. And I was always, traveling and everything. And when COVID hit, I was forced to stay home.
It slowed you down.
Yeah. And for the first time, I started taking care of myself.
Right.
Started exercising. First 6 months, I lost 20 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
I started reading books. And that's when I discovered all our mentors with whom we work today.
Yeah.
And that helped me. That helped me grow my mindset and help my team grow theirs as well.
Right.
Where now we are able to grow more aggressively and more organized.
Right. Yeah. Then you're improving the opportunities. You're improving yourself, your health, your knowledge, which allows you to be better equipped to lead them and develop your team and make bigger opportunities for your team. So now you're taking care of yourself. You're healthier, exercising. Does that improve other areas of your life as well? Not just simply business? Does it like, you feel better now? I mean, because you look awesome.
I feel better. I feel so much better.
Yeah.
Even though I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, I work out. You would think I will be tired the rest of the day.
Right.
No, that fuels me. It gives you energy and everything. When I didn't exercise, I got up at 7 o'clock in the morning and I felt shittier the whole day long, you know.
Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy.
Yeah, because I get people tell me, "Oh, Steve, don't burn yourself out." I'm like, no, I take care of myself physically and mentally. I eat right. I exercise. I have a routine. I take care of myself, and I get the energy I have is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I just give me 8 hours of sleep, and I'm good to go.
Yes. Sleep is the most important.
Yeah, if I get like a 7 to 8, and then I'm great. But you give me less than 7, then I'm going to be a grumpy bitch.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm grumpy in the morning too, like no matter what. But
and you know, the beautiful thing about this is that I have a wife that holds me accountable.
Yes.
And we do all this together.
Yeah. So you've designed, Romina's a beautiful wife. She's an amazing individual. You're so lucky.
Yeah, I know.
She knows that. Yeah. But you deserve it. And so now you've gotten to a point where you have older children. You've designed a life where, you know, you're able to go work and go to big impactful events, go drive the business. But then when you're doing all this traveling, you'll be able to explore the world, the different areas that you're going into. And now, like I said earlier, my goal is always to make it hard for people to understand whether I'm working or playing right now. Because I think once you do that, when it's a gray area, no one can tell, you've succeeded.
Exactly.
All right. Because now, hey, I'm having so much fun, but I love to ask somebody sometimes, am I working right now? Or is this just having fun? And they can't answer. I'm like, this, yeah, now I'm succeeding. But when you look at success in life, at like you've gone through life, built a business, what are the things that you look for to ensure that you feel like, hey, I'm succeeding right now? This is what I want to accomplish. Like, what's important to you?
Important to me is have the time, the quality time to be able to be with my kids.
Right.
You know, now they're teenagers and it's difficult that they want to be with you because they want to be with their friends.
Right.
But when you have time to be together,
yes,
that's quality time, you know? And that's for me, success, to be able to be close to the family, to be able to not having to travel anymore. Right. I sent my leaders to all these trips now, and that's an incentive for them. They feel so happy and so proud to be able to represent the company on my behalf. A guy is leaving to India today. 1 month ago, I sent 3 guys to Kenya, to Africa for a conference there. And then I have my other teams that I sent to Berlin and Barcelona twice this year. And my projects department went to Barcelona as well. Right. Now they are doing the traveling. And the good thing is that it's not one person that's doing it, but it's different teams that are doing all this traveling. It's good for them. Right. It's good for the company.
Yeah, because you individually couldn't do all those trips.
Exactly.
Right?
But I used to do them.
Yeah, right. It's just not sustainable.
Crazy.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, now you're empowering them with opportunities.
Exactly.
And they're excited about it because this is all new for them and they've got opportunities to learn and represent the company, and you're trusting them to go represent the business.
Yes. And you know what? I've seen these companies with whom I've been working for 20 years, like my agents around the world, they are still at the same spot where they were 20 years ago. Huh. Then they write an email to me and they expect me to answer, and they get a little bit disappointed when I forward that email to my team members and I'm not answering to them. Right. And I say, hey man, if you want me to operate your business, it will not work correctly because I have a team. Yeah. You know? And these guys are the owners. They are 24/7 in their offices, going through each and every email, wanting to control everything and not delegating anything. Yeah. Yeah, that's not scalable. And they think that I'm traveling the world for fun. Right. You know? Yeah. Yeah, and your team's going to respond quicker. So exactly, you want the team to take care of it. Yeah, if you have 160 employees and like 50,000 shipments a year, you need a team. Right. Because the other day I had this guy calling me and said, "Hey, where's my container?" I said, "Which one?" "Oh yeah, you don't know about my container?" I said, "No, I don't know about your container. I have 5,000 shipments a month,
Right.
and I don't know about your container, but I'm pleased to introduce you to my operations manager, and she'll take care of you."
Right.
And that was like a hit in the face to him.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to talk to the owner to see where his container was. And I helped him immediately. But he thought that I was going to be in that position. Now I'm working on my business to grow the business, not in the business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do. Yeah. It's our job to work ourselves out of every job we're doing inside the business.
Yes.
If we're doing something, how do I get myself out of that?
Yes.
Because if it's the Rudolph show, is that good for your people?
No.
Like something happens to Rudolph, well, what happens to the business? That's not good for that. And is it good for the clients? Where if the only person who's going to answer where my container is Rudolph, that wouldn't be good for them. So in the end, you're looking out for your clients and your employees and building something that's going to be sustainable and not just about us as the business owner. Because that was me. Well, years ago, it was a revolving door in my office, coming in and out, coming in and out. I was like, I knew everything was going on.
Yeah.
Now I love them. Like, I don't even know what's going on tomorrow on my calendar. I walk in the office in the morning and someone hands me my calendar. This is your meetings today. All right, perfect. Because I don't want to be I just need to be working on bigger things.
That's good.
Right.
That's fantastic. Yeah, because if you need to decide what toilet paper to buy, and I was like, but no, and you grow your people by delegating everything and letting them do the decisions. And sometimes I see them taking decisions and I don't tell them it was the wrong decision because I want them to learn from that mistake.
Right.
Unless it would cost us a lot of money, I would say, hey man, this is not the way to do it.
Yes.
You know? And they've been growing and learning, and it's not easy, but it's working.
Yeah, people need to be empowered to solve problems and learn how to think, not what to think. Because what to think is we tell them, hey, the answer is red, their answer is blue. Versus, hey, what do you think it should be, and why do you think it should be? Very good. Now go do it.
Yes.
Right. So, boy, I haven't seen you in a little while. So I love the fact that you came in to see me.
Yeah, no, thank you for the invite.
You're because you live in Houston now, and you came down to Florida. I know you came to Florida for from other stuff too, but yeah, it's been just thinking about meeting you like a few years ago, and isn't it interesting how you could connect with some people like immediately, like with you had such a great personality immediately. And then to get to know you on a personal level, you're just such a genuine person. And there's so many, you get to meet a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs when you go to these conferences that you can connect with and that are really genuine people. You're just one of them. And it's just like, I feel so lucky to have met you.
Yeah, likewise.
So what's new? So next few years, I know acquisitions, what's new? What do you got planned here for life, personally or family? What are your goals? Like, what besides growing a business to $1 billion over the next 10 years? What am I going to be seeing Rudolph do? Let's speak it into existence.
Well, you're going to be seeing Rudolph driving his own yacht in front of the Florida Keys here.
Oh, no shit.
And going to Bahamas.
Nice. Oh, well, that's good for me.
Yes, sir. You have a friend that other people's yachts is always better, right?
That's right. Exactly. I knew I liked you. Hey, you have a freeloader here. I got 4 women I'm taking with me, so just be ready.
No, it's going to be big enough to take everybody with me.
That's great.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's one of our goals is to have a yacht. Like when the kids get older, we have some other priorities between now and then, but that's something, especially living here in Florida.
Yeah. So that's one of my goals. And like when my daughter goes out of college, and both kids are going to be in college now, Sebastian is in Dallas and Isabella still has to go to school for 1.5 years.
Right.
But my goal is to have a yacht, have it here in Florida, and then work out of my yacht 1 week a month.
Oh,
but work, not just, relax. Work with view to the ocean, of course.
Yeah, and I can relate to that because I can go on a yacht. I'll bring my laptop, my work, and be on a yacht. Awesome views, awesome atmosphere. You've got fresh air. You've got the water, and you're on this yacht. That's like, okay, it's a big toy that you don't need, but you got anyway because you were able to, and actually be productive. I'm more relaxed when I'm working in that environment and mixing it up. Okay, then I'll take a little bit of a break and I'll go for a swim or have something to eat or talk to some friends. But if we sat down on that yacht, we'd probably be talking about something, how we can make impact and do something together.
Of course.
Right?
Imagine how cool that would be.
Yeah, absolutely. Or just about how do we get better? Like, what are you learning? I want to hear what you're learning, Rudolf. What can you teach me? Like, what's going well and what mistakes do I need to learn from? Or, hey, what do I have to look out for and afraid? How those logistics companies going to take care of me the best or not take care of me? But we've used you guys multiple times, and every time we've used RH Shipping, it's been 100% amazing. You guys are incredible.
Thank you. I'm proud to hear that, man.
Yeah, I know you got a lot of clients, but when I hear, hey, Rudolf's company takes care of us, they're really, truly amazing.
And that's something important that I learned 27 years ago.
Yeah.
Don't depend on 3 clients.
Right.
Have as much clients as possible.
That's right.
And be able to serve them good and try to exceed their expectations.
Right.
And that's what we're doing now. We're this year, even though business went down, we invested a lot of money in new systems to be able to serve the clients better and have all the functions more automatized and everything.
Right.
We're not done yet, but we're working on it.
Yeah. You'll always be working on things, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So what you're doing, even even in down market, how do I fortify and get ready to position ourselves for the next leap of growth that you're going to have? And also, if you're going to be acquiring other companies, I got to make sure I'm strengthening everything so we can really scale this and that goes well.
Exactly.
Bro, hey, buddy, I appreciate you coming in so much. You're an awesome individual.
Thank you. Thank you. Likewise.
I look forward to seeing you. We make sure that so much time doesn't go by between.
Yes, we need to see each other more.
I'm going to visit Texas next.
Okay. And I'll help you out if you need a warehouse or something.
Yeah, we are going to do that. That's a good idea. And I've been thinking about that. Hey, everybody, that's Rudolf Hess. Awesome guy. See you in the next episode of Steve Lags Unfiltered.
Thank you. Thank you, man.
That's all for today's Steve Lags Unfiltered journey. Keep soaring, leading, and conquering with us. Remember, it's not just about listening. It's about learning and taking action. If today ignited your drive, join us next time for more unfiltered wisdom. Subscribe, rate, and leave a review to fuel your success journey. Also, be sure to listen to us on your favorite podcast channel or outlet. Stay tuned, stay unfiltered, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Boom.